Because of men like you.
There are no men like me.
But now
Only
the
me.
rains sweep o'er his halls with no one there to hear. Yes, now the rains sweep o'er his halls and not a soul to hear. Good voice!
What's up, everybody? It is May 12th. My name is Garrick Schilling, and this is my Season 8, Episode 4 review for The Last of the Starks. We open up at Winterfell right after the burning of the bodies, or right before, I should say. We got Sansa with Theon, we have Jon and Lyanna Mormont, we have Dany and Jorah, which are all, like, it was surprisingly a sad scene to watch. And then you put Jon with Lyanna Mormont, I think, because you want Jon Snow to feel like the North lost the most. And then Sansa with Theon is actually a little bit more upsetting than you'd think going into the episode, just because if you watch the post show, David Nutter, the director, talked to Sophie Turner and basically gave her a little character note, being like, you never got to say goodbye to Theon, which actually is like a very sad thing, why she puts the pin in him to let him know he was a Stark all along, and she thought of him as that, even though she never got to officially say it to him. And obviously Dany and Jorah was heartbreaking for its own reasons. They've been together the longest. For Sansa, it's essentially the moment that Bran had with Theon in the Godswood, where he's like, you're a good man, Theon, but Sansa never gets to have that with him, which is kind of sucks for Theon. Guy had a shitty life towards the end. Jon gives that badass gone but not forgotten speech about the people who died defending the realm, which was very Night's Watch, tip of the cap, Lord Commander, Jon Snow type.
They were the shields that guarded the realms of men. And we shall never see their light again.
Then we move back inside, and our boy Gendry gets promoted to Storm's End, his family's old seat. Tyrion and Davos are seen having like a separate conversation after our boy Pod walks off to have a threesome in the background. But Tyrion and Davos' conversation here is basically to just be like, it's our transitional way of being like, hey, we're done with the magic shit for the most part. Like, we might have a vision here and some fire there, but no more like lady lighting everyone's swords on fire. No more like woman takes her necklace off and is 100,000 years old. There's not going to be much more of that. No more faceless man, I don't think.
Or her God did it to her. The Lord of Light. We play his game for him. We fight his war and win. And then he fucks off. No signs, no blessings.
Jaime, Brienne, Pod drinking game. This is one of those callbacks to, I believe, season 1, when we first get introduced to Shay.
Let's do something I'm good at.
What are you good at?
I happen to be a great judge of character.
This sounds like a boring game.
It's not. Here's how it works. I make a statement about your past. If I'm right, you drink. If I'm wrong, I drink.
Go again.
Why does he get to go again?
Because it's my game.
I mean, Tyrion's just like tripping over his tongue too much, to be honest, man. The guy, for such a smart dude, he's like that one friend that you give, you're like, hey man, it's like, this person's awesome and everything, just don't bring up the fact that she's a virgin. That's like the only thing that's not cool.
You're a virgin.
This scene with Arya and Gendry is maybe the best written scene outside of Bronze this episode, just because of all the sheer, like, just callbacks. There's, I think, at least 2 or 3 that I'll try and put together here.
I'm not a lady.
I never have been. That's not me.
So at several points in several different seasons while Arya is becoming no one, she's also like asked or made to acknowledge several times that she will never be a lady, that that's not her. Like all these lines that she's bringing back to Gendry now are from separate conversations with other characters here. First example I'm going to show you is last season when she finds Nymeria, right? She wants her to come home and back to who she was before. But
That's not you.
so that with Nymeria, and then going back way further, this is I think like episode 2 maybe. It's her and Ned Stark in King's Landing, and he's basically describing to her that like when she's older, she'll be a lady and she'll be blah 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 and she'll run the show but
you will marry a High Lord and rule this castle. And your sons shall be knights and princes and lords.
No. That's not me.
oh god damn, that is some good show. Fuck, I miss Ned Stark every time I see him on screen, but that's the kind of transitional like season to season why every scene matters that makes Thrones like the best to watch, dude. You can watch that 100 times and not pick up on stuff.
Swear your brother and Samwell Tarly to secrecy and tell no one else. Or it will take on a life of its own and you won't be able to control it or what it does to people. No matter how many times you bend the knee. No matter what you swear.
Okay, Danny, okay. Like, I'll do whatever you say. Please just take that look off your face. That scene is, like, the best acting Emilia Clarke has had to do, in my opinion. She is terrifying during that scene. If you watch that brief part right there, dude, that freaks me out. Like, that brings the possibility for Mad Queen all the way to the forefront for me. With the crazy eyes, man. Varys notices it earlier, I think. He's the only one that has seen the Mad King outside of Jaime. There's just they're either doing all this on purpose to misdirect you in the end, or it's gonna be like hey, we left these crumbs here for a reason. So I love the battles, I love the fight scenes, but you don't get everybody on this show like they have been if you don't have these scenes right here. I quite literally was sitting on the edge of my seat this entire scene with my mouth open, just waiting to see if Bronn was gonna kill Tyrion or Jaime. Literally thought one of them had to die, no matter what though.
You know? Pair of tall blonde toffs. Must be like looking in the mirror.
It's a Bronn of the Blackwater. Where's your drink?
The whole time. I looked exactly how Jaime looks when he's getting the fucking crossbow over his shoulder, and he's like, okay, this is a little bit more serious than I realized. Every single line out of that actor's mouth, like, I don't have his name on, unfortunately, but the guy who plays Bronn, every line out of his mouth in that 5-minute span is pure gold. When he punches Tyrion in the face and Jaime stands up and he's like, what, you one-headed fuck? You couldn't on your best day.
Word, and I will belt you.
See, I don't believe you do that.
You couldn't do it on your best day, you one-handed fuck, and your best days are long gone.
Oh, you broke my nose!
I did not break your nose.
How do you know?
Because I've been breaking noses since I was your size, and I know what it sounds like. Now listen.
Just everything about that is why that character is still included. There's a bunch of characters that I was pissed off didn't die last week because it's kind of like, what the fuck is that character going to do going forward? And Bronn was clearly one of those characters that could not be killed off yet, because if he has one more scene like this in the next 2 episodes, it's worth keeping him alive for. And then, speaking of what the fuck, we're getting the whole, like, homecoming. Like, at one point I lean over to my buddy that I'm watching this with and I go, dude, how much time do we got left in this episode? And then BAM! Right through the chest, dude. And they did it so perfectly, too, because you have her looking, and then it cuts to the other side, where you're looking at both of them. And just like Drogon gets hit by Bronn in the chest in the card scene, you're like, oh, I've seen a dragon eat one there before, though. He's good. Then he gets one through the wing, and you're like, ooh, I don't know about that one. That one's right through the neck. And, oh. That scene is so gnarly. It's one of those, it's Thrones in the sense that you are not given any time. Like, that happens, and you're forced to deal with it right then and there, which is, dude, it sucks. It doesn't suck, okay? It doesn't suck. It just rips your heart out to not be ready for something like that and have it just wham happen to you. That's why Thrones is what it is, though. Finally, the parlay at King's Landing. This is, I mean, this is for all you who forgot who Cersei was. Like, we missed our girl for 3 episodes, and she didn't change. Like, she's still ruthless.
So much for the breaker of chains.
So much for the breaker of chains. Like, there was 0.0000% 1% chance that fucking Missandei was living. Qyburn even says it. Tyrion's out there trying to be like, hey man, you're reasonable, don't be crazy. Qyburn even kind of is like the show writers being like, you remember to us, to Tyrion right then, you remember who you're talking about, right? This bitch blew up half the city because they wanted to like waltz her around naked. She hates you so much, she just wants you to see like this person die. She wants you to be pissed off. She wants you to be mad. She wants you to make a mistake. So that's the whole reason she even allows this thing. It's the same as last season with the whole meeting. She just wanted to see what her strength was, what their power looked like, if the dragons were vulnerable. Holy shit, I had this thing planned out for 5 to 10 minutes. But okay, this is the last part of the episode I'm going to talk about. And it steps back a little bit, but I wanted to save this for the end because I think this scene right here, if not where we pick up in episode 5, this is going to be the most important conversation.
So what happens to her? Please. Don't.
Anyone who doesn't know me, I'm a degenerate gambler. I've had money on Daenerys to sit her ass on that throne for months now. It's Year of the Woman. If she does not fucking win, I'll be upset. And yes, while that upset partially includes money, it's also all the damn time that I've invested in watching and believing in this character, Daenerys Targaryen. And if they flip her to the point where someone like Varys can be her undoing here in the end, I'm gonna be pissed off. That's not gonna be a good ending for me. Anyways, if you made it this far, I just want to thank you for sitting through my rants. I love this show and I love talking about it. Again, my name is Garrick Schilling. We got episode 5 tonight. I'll see you guys soon.